Welcome back to Beyond the Cloud. In this episode, myself, Natalie Gray, Head of Partnerships, I'll be chatting with Rob Gray here, our Head of Sales. We're going to kind of just dig a little bit deeper into one of Codurance's offerings, really. I think sometimes speaking with customers, it's almost, they've kind of had that paralysis. It's so much of a big kind of challenge, like where on earth do you start for success? And how can you make sure that you're going to drive that ROI that, everybody in the business is hoping for? So I guess, Rob, as our head of sales, you speak to these customers and, you're offering, the sorts of solutions that are helping to address these challenges. So I know our kind of cloud assessment kind of packages or discoveries, as we sometimes call them, they sort of help these customers on that journey, or at least kind of starting them off on the right foot. So yeah, I thought it'd be good if you could just sort of, dig down into that and sort of how do we help these customers on that first rung of the ladder, let's say, to making some of those decisions.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the cloud assessment that we have at Codurance, I think it's a really underutilized tool. We've spoken to a lot of different businesses, over the past couple of years that want to utilize the cloud. They want to move workloads up into the cloud for various different reasons, whether it's for cost, whether it's for sustainability purposes, whether it's because customers are looking for a more kind of adaptive service, and cloud is obviously leading them towards that. But there's always been a theme of not knowing where to start, what to start with, or how moving into the cloud can kind of draw those advantages for them. So the cloud readiness assessment from Codurance, it's a very low friction exercise that we do. It typically takes a week, and it's made up of a series of kind of quite small workshops that are our principal craftspeople or our platform engineers that are all trained and kind of certified in different cloud platforms, that they conduct in parallel with a number of different work streams to understand more about the business. And it's really to analyze an organization's on-premise workloads and to create that kind of, let's say, first iteration of a roadmap that's tailored to that business and the team skill sets, because that's a huge thing that was spoken about as well, is the people that are actually going to be delivering this service, to help ensure that there is a cloud migration that's well thought out. It considers multiple parts of a business, because multiple parts of a business are affected when you move into the cloud. It's not just move the technology and everything is hunky-dory, as we can say. There's a lot of different departments which can be affected, in a positive way, but also in a negative way if things aren't carried out or well thought through. So, it's a really underutilized thing, and we see a lot of people not move to the cloud because of uncertainty, or kind of the information isn't there in front of them to show them that kind of very high level step by step. If you were to move into the cloud for whatever reasons you're looking to move into, whether it's to identify cost cutting opportunities, whether it's to get insights into where they can optimize their existing IT infrastructure, where they can modernize their IT by adopting some of the cloud native services, which are, as we spoke about previously, can help drive down that energy consumption, that can help improve an organization's carbon footprint, whether it is around the security of data. There's a lot of conversations that are around the improved security of data by being in the cloud, as opposed to having physical servers in offices. And human error can come into a lot of conversations you hear around security and cybersecurity as well. There's just a few of the things that we look at in a very short space of time to give organizations really the roadmap that they need to make those business decisions of, number one, moving into the cloud. The biggest question then is obviously how much would it cost for us to do that? And there are a ton of funding programs that are available for multiple different public cloud providers that will offset so much of that cost to get into the cloud. It makes it a really kind of sustainable and cost efficient exercise to do. But also, once you are there, what are the advantages for the business when it comes to the ability to scale, the ability to try out new things around R&D and to experiment with different services? It really opens the door to kind of really being serious about moving into the cloud in a very low friction, short time space that, we can kind of come in and do within a short period of time via a couple of workshops.
Yeah, it's that kind of business conversation. So talking in the language of the business that our craftspeople, as we call them, are kind of involved in. So, it's not just a technology conversation, but as you say, we also make sure that we have conversations with the business stakeholders and, speak their language and understand, at the end of the day, anything to do with sort of, technology transformation, it's really to support those business objectives. So making sure that you're bringing the business stakeholders on that journey is, I guess, critical to, that ROI being demonstrated and proven. So I guess this is really just kind of helping them build their business case for change effectively.
Absolutely. We've seen a lot of times when organizations are trying to do this without a properly thought out plan and considerations, it can go wrong, and it can then also impact areas of the business where cost is then implemented or customer satisfaction is then implemented. So, and we try and follow almost a 5-step process when we're doing this cloud assessment. And the first one is, again, looking at the business objectives. What is it that's driving them to look towards the cloud, and what are they hoping to get from it? What is the opportunity that's going to come from being in the cloud for the business? We tend to see different things happen where people have, or organizations have the people, they have the bandwidth, but they've never worked in a cloud environment, and they've never gone through kind of the exercise of migrating workloads from on-premise into the cloud. Or they have gone through that exercise, but they just don't have enough people to dedicate onto something like this. The BAU or the work that they're doing is too important to take time off. So you're kind of stuck then in that back and forth. We then kind of look at the existing IT requirements. Are there things that we can change? Are there things that we can adopt when you're looking at the applications, the data, you're looking at workloads that need to be moved into the cloud? You look at the security as well. Every organization is governed, let's say, by different regulations. So by moving into the cloud, are those regulations still going to be adhered to? And, is data still going to be governed in the same way as it is, whether it's on premise? And then you look at, for organizations, and we've spoken previously about, one of the most important people in any organization right now is the CFO, of course. So you're looking at timelines and you're looking at budgets, that if you were to go on this journey, what's your estimated timeline for multiple phases or the whole thing? And then how do you put a cost against that as well, whether that's for the actual implementation, so whether the time it costs, or you're investing in your own people to do that because you've got salaries and times, etc. So what is the monetary investment, or whether there's a consultancy that can come in to do this, and as we've said, access funding via other partners. But then also the time, how long is this going to take? And even on from that, when will we start seeing the cost and sustainability and scalability advantages of being in the cloud?
Yeah. So all of that 5-point kind of program, and it sounds like, unless you've done this before, it's kind of, where on earth did you start? And I guess that's the benefit of working with a partner like Codurance, right? That we've seen, migrations, modernizations, cloud transformations from very, very small startups all the way up to very large global enterprises and everything in between. So your chance of success is, multiplied by a lot if you were to work with a partner like us, to at least to kind of start that journey, right?
Absolutely. I think the most crucial thing for any cloud journey is that first stage, which is the assessment, or the planning stage. If you can plan it, you have obviously a lot more chance for success, whether or not you do it yourself or use someone like Codurance. And of course, if you use Codurance, your chance for success is much higher, but it comes down to that initial planning stage.
Great. So I guess if people want to have a chat, they know where to find us now. So do reach out to us at Codurance if you want to have a conversation about your next cloud journey. Thanks for your time, Rob. Speak to you next time.
Speak to you then. Thank you.